Welcome to Bad Idea Metals. I'm Anthony, and I have this pretty cool Dell server. I don't know the model number of it. I bet if I looked right here I could find it, but my reading skills upside down aren't the greatest. It is a Dell, you can see that. But regardless, we are gonna take this Dell apart because when I got this Dell, the guys that I got it from were so excited to get it to me. They know how much I love to get RAM, and they know how much I love older machines that are a little bit more on the obsolete side, if not completely obsolete. But this one's got a little hidden surprise. So the lighting isn't great for a walk around. Let me see if I can spin this instead. Hey, look at that. The tower's not falling over. I'm trying to clean up this back area. Got distracted. It's my side quest. So as you can see back here, there's 2 tiers. And that's what got these guys excited when they saw that. They said that I should definitely take a look at it. And when I tear it apart, I should do a video. So this is the video for my friends that got me this server. So let's go ahead and first take off the lid. I've had the lid off once before, and that was a while ago. It's been sitting back here waiting for me to have time to get to it. There we go. So it's a C6145. I'm not exactly sure what that is, other than I believe this is a NAS, a network storage. So right off, you can see several banks of RAM. There's 4 of them, and 4 CPUs. Except this machine has a surprise. Why don't we reveal the surprise right away? I really hope that this is in frame. We'll find out real fast if we're not, I guess. But this server has a bit of a surprise in that each of these 2 tiers here are actually going to be hard to get apart. Oh, there we go. Each of these 2 tiers here are cemented in place at the moment. Well, let's get the bottom one out, since I know that that one's able to come out. Okay. Now that 9 cars have passed and I can finally talk again. The top tier is not moving as we slide out the bottom tier, and guess what? It is 2 complete servers. Basically, it's like a blade. It's not, but it's like one. And they're completely full of RAM. Now, I don't know what the RAM style is. Based off of what I'm seeing, it looks like it's DDR3. Yep, it's DDR3, 8 gig modules, and there's 8 times 4 times 4. So what's that, 64 sticks of RAM? 8 times 8. So if that's true, then what's 64 times 8? 8 times 6 is 48. So this is like 512 gigs of RAM if my quick math is right. I'm probably wrong on that. But regardless, that's 64 sticks of RAM. Each one of these sticks of RAM is double-sided, and they have about 38 chips of memory on them, of registers, double-sided. So I mean, you look at this is a great find, and I can't thank my friends enough for that. Now let's do some quick scrapping here. I'll finish tearing all this apart another time, but here we've got the 64 sticks of RAM, and we have risers. We have 3 risers with fingers on them. I'm gonna need to grab my screwdriver to get those off. And looks like this. It's a serial ATA RAID card here. I don't know what kind of expansions are on the second panel here, but right off we've got 2 cards with fingers on it. This one might not have fingers, to be honest. It looks like it's it looks like it's tied in through cables, but still, we've got 3 risers and 1 network card. Can't get over the 64 sticks of RAM total. These heat sinks have copper in them. They're going to be hard to isolate, but here, hiding underneath these, let's pull one of these CPUs out. Ah, there we go. They are Opteron processors. The year on it is 2011. So this is still a modern enough machine that this would have been useful to somebody, but it's also obsolete enough that it got given to me. So let's set this down off to the side. Oh my goodness. It's pretty heavy. There's the heatsink that we liberated and its CPU. Let's set that off to the side. This is gonna take me a second to reacquaint myself with this locking mechanism. There we go. Slide this one out. And it's the exact same configuration. A network card, a serial ATA RAID card of sorts. I don't know too much about that one without looking at it closer. It's got the 4 CPUs, that's the one we took out. And then again, another 4 by 8, which is 32. So again, this is the other half of the 64 sticks of RAM. From what I can see, it's identical. So we're gonna set this one off to the side. Leaving us a pretty empty case. However, there's fans, there's a back plane. The back plane can be kind of interesting sometimes. I'm not gonna work on taking it off right now, but the back plane will have some gold-plated pins. That's pretty cool. We'll have all your wires, all your power management's gotta go out to where the hard drives are spinning. So here's all the wires. They go to that back plane to provide power for all of your drives. But here's the last thing that I wanna show you. It's gonna be a pretty short video today, but it's gonna be short all right if I can't get these out. Come on, give to me the power supplies. There we go. So they've got these really nice thick fingers for the power, and there's 2 of them in this. Come on. So there's your power supplies. There'll be copper and some aluminum in here. There's a fan on the back. It's a pretty standard power supply for a server. But if you're hunting for silver and gold, there's that. There's those 2 motherboards. There will be some silver in your power management componentry here. And then there's other gold-plated areas like these pins between the main boards and the rest of the system. You can see some gold plating right here. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty fun. A pretty good find. Can't thank my friends enough for thinking of me when they saw this server. So, okay, well, my side quest better come to an end here. I'm trying to clean this entire area up. It's now September, and I need to be able to park my trailer and my truck back here. That way it's off the road for the winter. And anyway, long story short, I got to get back to work. But this is what I found in this fun server today. Well, I finished the previous segment with the intent of closing out the video there, but I might as well show you what's here. I've got all my tools. It's the next day, but still, regardless, I'm just out here tearing things apart, so I might as well tear this apart and show you what I found. So we already took out the heat sink and the Opteron processor from here. Well, these are on there pretty good. Huh. There we go. Just takes a little bit of prying it. Anyway, so there's some copper. You can see the trace where the copper fits underneath inside the heatsink here. So we'll put that off to the side with our copper and aluminum collection. All right, man, those were glued down pretty well. Oh, come on, this one's glued down too. There we go. So there's 3 more Opterons. I've got a bucket for CPUs that are obsolete. All right, well, what should we tackle next? The RAM? The RAM's the easiest to get out, we might as well. Just 32 of these toggles on each side. Man, so fun. There's 16. Ha. And that is 32 sticks of RAM. And yes, all of them probably still work. I don't care. We're gonna recycle these for gold. So that's gonna be that. Sorry. Sorry for all of those that are out there watching, cringing, thinking, why throw those away? To put it in perspective, here's my logic here. A 8 gig stick of DDR3 RAM right now can go for about $2 to $5. If I'm lucky and it sells right away, that's fine. Otherwise, I have to sit on it, and it's got to carefully sit in a static bag, waiting for sale, and that's going to be in my way. The other thing is $2 to $5 per stick of 8 gig DDR3 ECC server RAM is, let's just do the math on this real fast. So let's just say I could get $5 per stick and sell it as functional. Now, let's look at it from my perspective. I have estimated each one of these black chips can be worth as high as 48 cents and as low as 25 cents per chip, depending on whether it's DDR2, 3, or 4. This is DDR3. I usually just mix them all together and come up with an average. But so I average that these are going to be about 30 to 35. So 30, let's just say 30 cents each. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 plus the ECC module. 18, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So there's 36 plus 1. So 37. 37. Let's just do the math on 37. 37 at roughly 30 cents each. So 37 times 3, if I'm lucky, and that's what this truly will get, this module might be worth $7 or $8 in gold. So the fact that I could sell these as functional might be the responsible thing to do for people who try to keep their machines running. But do you know how many sticks of RAM are out in the world that still work? I've got 64 of them. 64 of them at roughly $10 a stick is $640 worth of gold. I'm sorry to all of you out there that wish that these were available in the market for functional RAM. They're no longer. It just doesn't make sense for me to sell them at $2 a stick, and then I have to pay the shipping fees. And if I did it through something like eBay, then I have to pay the listing fee, or at least the sales percent. It's just not worth it. So a little bit inside my head there. I just don't sell DDR3 anymore. It doesn't sell. There's no market that sells them high enough. Anyway, soapbox over. That's it. All right. Now these clips are bent, so oh, I see. Huh. I totally see now what I neglected to see before. There's a Phillips screw right here. So, and there's another one right here for the top of the bracket. All right, now that I have finally figured out how to take this apart. Oh, and there's still something else, huh? Of course there is. There we go. So this network card, it's got the fingers. It's not going to have anything amazing for the way of chipset underneath. It possibly can if it's old enough, but this is a DDR3 system. I highly doubt that this one's going to have that. The system clock right here is gold plated, and there's some gold plated wires on the inside. The MLCCs, those have silver. So the riser doesn't really have anything here other than the fingers themselves. So I'll clip those fingers, but then the riser is pretty much useless. Let's go ahead and apply what we've learned here. Take off these extra screws. And we have 2 more risers. Again, they've got the gold fingers. This perplexed me before. Now I think I understand how they're holding on. See if this screw will come off. And it did. Hey, ha! That's a fun little riser card. It's got the fingers on both sides. They're gold plated. Not a lot on there, but nonetheless, they are worth saving there. Oh, come on. There's a chipset underneath this heatsink that I don't think is worth much, but there is a chip there. So we'll stick this card over on the other pile. I got 2 different piles. If they've got fingers, they go in one pile. If they don't, but they still have things that I want to reclaim, then they go in a different pile. I've got my wires. Now there's gold fingers on this wafer right here. This is a pretty interesting clip. It's usually associated with SATA or SAS drives. I'm not sure what's underneath this heatsink, so we're gonna pry it up right now. It's not exactly a valuable chipset, so that's all right. Okay, so right off, the only things I see on the motherboard that I'm after are, there's a BGA here, a BGA here, a BGA sort of here, and that's it. There's a lot of surface mount stuff, and the surface mount stuff is worth collecting. And it's got silver in it. It can have platinum group metals in it, but my operation, I don't chase after all of that. There might be some gold plated pins in this right here. Yep, I can see them. So I'll have to come back through with my channel locks and grab those later. But this is what I do to get the chips off. I just take my it's a paint scraper, and it's got the attachment to scrape paint off a roller, but that's just what I use. I orient it in a way that I can get easy access to the chips and get as flat as I can. And I get the ICs off. They break sometimes, like that one did. There's another piece in here. That one's intact. This one's gonna be hard to get in one piece. Yep. It always is. And there we go. And then there's one more IC just hiding out over here. Let's not knock all those over. Okay, and like I said, there's silver in a lot of this. There's a lot of other places that gold exists. The pins are gold plated on the RAM slots, on the CPU sockets, and a lot of other places, especially in a server. They'll have different expandable interfaces, but for the most part, it's such low quality gold plating that by the time I get it off and then I go to process it, I've spent more in acid, more in electricity, and my time and everything else. I cut my loss here. This has been a really beneficial server to me, with the number of sticks of RAM and then also the chips that were in here. But there you go. Pretty fun little server to take apart. But now I'll officially close this video. Yeah, there's nothing really, neglected one. It blended right in. Anyway, okay, so now I'm going to officially close this video and put this away. Again, thanks to those guys that gave me this server. I really appreciate it. Well, we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.